Hello everyone, mahalo for coming out today to watch my presentation on the Workweek reform. Today we'll be rethinking hours and wages for a better life. So let's start off with how many days a year we spend working and commuting. In a traditional 9 to 5 slash business year, we have 45 weeks, which amounts to 2,205 hours. And yearly, we spend 222 hours commuting. Added together, that's around 2,427 hours. Converting to days, that's, you guessed it, take one guess, 100 days. So 100 days of our lives is spent working and commuting. So with that in mind, I want to ask you, what would you do with an extra day? So the traditional 9 to 5 is a 40-hour work week, and it is outdated. With the high cost of living, with the highest cost of living in the US, Hawaii's wages and work hours don't match modern demands. So what can we do? We can explore the alternatives to the 40-hour work week, which is a wage reform and a 40 work week. And we have evidence to support that from global reports and studies. So what is the issue with the 40-hour work week? It has a very big impact on our mental health and burnout. From a global study or a Korean nationwide study, we saw that 14,625 participants were analyzed and grouped into 4 different weekly working hour groups. And they were asked at the beginning and the end of the trial, which was 12 weeks long, feelings of depression and considerations of suicide. These tables, this first table shows the results for people who are asked about depression. And this table shows the participants who were asked thoughts of suicide at the end of 12 weeks. From the study, we see that as hours increase, so do depression and suicide risk. Not only does it affect our mental health, it affects our physical health as well, especially when you are overworking your 9 to 5. In a 2021 article from the World Health Organization, we see that there was an increase in deaths due to overworking, with a wild number of 745,000 deaths from stroke and ischemic heart disease. And we see that working 55 plus hours increase stroke and death by heart disease by 35 and 17% respectively. So in conclusion, a third of the total estimated work-related burden of disease is due to working long hours. What's the solution to overworking and to the 40-hour work week? A 4-day work week. As you can see from Microsoft Japan, 2,300 employees were given every Friday off, and they didn't get paid any less. We saw that results of productivity increase, meeting decreased minutes, electricity use, the electricity usage fell by 20%, paper printing dropped by 59%, and employee satisfaction skyrocketed, which is the most important thing in a company, your employee wellness. Productivity, employee wellness, and company success are all related. In another global study, the biggest one or the most worldly selected was from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Ireland, and the UK altogether. So for 6 months, Boston College tracked productivity from around 2,900 employees across of these 5 countries. And they were asked before and after, does work frustrate you? And how would you rate your mental health? This comes from comparing the traditional 9 to 5 to a modified work schedule. What was also analyzed was changes in burnout, fatigue, sleep quality, and work performance. Results: reduced mental strain, better sleep, improved effectiveness on the job, lower levels of fatigue, and improved mental and physical health. Most companies took away, or 90% of the companies kept the 40 work week, and companies were not even concerned with profit drops or benefited from the new schedules, which means 40 work weeks increased revenue and decreased burnout and improved employee wellness. Not only is it impactful to our mental and physical health, we see that wage modernization is the issue. From the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, we see that wage modernization is needed to map the productivity growth level to the hourly pay increase. So from 1979 to 2025, we see that productivity increased by 87% and pay only increased by 32, which is a big imbalance. We see, as a result, that workers produce more value than ever before, but are less paid relative to their productivity levels. So we need to balance the modern work age or the modern work standard. What are the benefits of a 4-day workweek? As we see from the Icelandic or the Iceland National Trial, that Iceland conducted one of the largest national trials ever from 2015 to 2019 with 1% of the working population, and they were working the same amount of hours but getting paid the same. And it was evaluated in offices, schools, outdoor work, human assistant facilities, shift work. And we saw that productivity stayed the same again or improved, and worker well-being improved. Everyone was happy, stress decreased, burnout decreased, work-life balance increased and improved, and health improved as well. So this nationwide change occurred because this Iceland took the time to evaluate the wellness and productivity of their employees. So 86% of the Icelandic force now has moved permanently to shorter hours and gained the negotiating rights by 2021. And this reform spread across the country. We can also see this in the United Kingdom, where they held the largest 4-day workweek pilot with 2,900 employees, where they followed the 100 to 80 to 100 model with, again, workers getting 100% of the pay with 80% of working hour reductions. So as a result, decrease in sick days, lower burnout levels, and companies actually opt to continue, with 18 adopting it permanently. So we've reached our conclusion. What did we cover today? We covered the issue with the traditional 9 to 5 and the solution of shorter work weeks, seeing that it improves mental and physical health, productivity, and economic fairness. And we saw that globally it is supported. All right, so the last thing I leave with you guys today is this mantra. Repeat after me. I deserve rest, I deserve balance, and I deserve a work life that lets me live, not just manage. So, mahalo again for coming out to listen to my presentation about work reform. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and until we meet again. Bye.